Do you guys see what kind of mess there is behind me? This is what happens when you outpace yourself growing your store and you just are overwhelmed with shipping and overwhelmed with things coming in, and everything just starts to take over your workspace. Now I'm excited to tease a little surprise, a little something that I've been working on that's going to get its own video coming out at some point later this week that I'm very excited about, but we're not going to say too much about it now. All I'll say is that it should help solve some of this problem. Anyway, you guys will remember in the last video, we finished up drafting a whole bunch of consoles, we drafted up some other stuff, and that stuff's all been listed now on eBay. However, then at the end, we were surprised to find out that we actually still had a ton of video game consoles and things that weren't listed on eBay yet. So I guess in today's video, the only thing to really do is to get the rest of those guys listed. You might have noticed that we haven't been doing too many games recently, although there are a few piles here and there. We haven't gone ahead and purchased any more. And that's because we simply, first of all, are out of space. So I might have a solution coming for that coming up very soon. Stay tuned on the channel. But secondly, we've had a lot of other stuff that's been coming in, like the video game consoles, like some of the other VCRs and all the Value Village hauls and all the Facebook Marketplace hauls we've been getting in, and all that stuff has to get listed. Now, luckily, most of it is listed, but we still have some stuff today to deal with, which is exactly what we're going to be doing here for the most part of today's video. However, before we can do that, we have a couple things that we need to ship out. Obviously, we sold some stuff over the weekend, which I'm very excited to pull and ship today. We've got a couple consoles, we've got a few video games, so we're gonna go ahead and get all that stuff out, packed up first, and then we can move on to testing some video game consoles. So I just went ahead, guys, and pulled all of the orders that are going out today, and there's nothing too exciting here, but some pretty typical stuff. First of all, you've got all these loose games going out, the 2 Final Fantasy games going to the same buyer. Then over here, we've got a few Wii games that we sold, which were some pretty good titles, all about $8 each. Gran Turismo 4, we've got Speed Racer for the Wii. Then we've got PS3 title there. This one here, this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, sold for, I think, $60. I'll even throw a picture up on the screen so you guys can see that. That is one to look out for sure for the DS. Good sale there. Then we had a couple Splinter Cell games there for Tom Clancy or for the Xbox 360. Following that, we also sold one console. We actually sold 2 consoles, but the Wii is not here with me. But we did sell this PS3, where obviously the disc gets stuck inside. We actually got some good money for it, though. $56 for it, which is not bad at all. And for that console, I'm pretty excited to have it sold as basically an as-is not working console. So some pretty good sales in general. I'm just going to go ahead here and quickly pack them up. I also want to mention, guys, that we are going to be breaking into the new Uline Economy bubble mailers today because we did run out of all of the red ones. So I've got a box here that I'm going to open up, and we're going to try them out, see how the seal works and see how I like them. Okay, well, I just finished packing with the bubble mailers. I still have to do the PS3, but I have to say, these are pretty nice. I mean, first of all, they're paper, so I suppose they're good for an environment in that case versus the plastic stuff that we've used in the past. And I mean, overall, they definitely provide a nice seal on this. Like if you compare the 2 seals, this one's perfectly flat. This one has a lip here, which can sometimes get caught in the slot. This one I think is a little bit stickier, this plastic one. I mean, this one is definitely harder to pull the lip, but I found that the actual stickiness on them is not as good, but it's good enough. It's definitely good enough that I'm not going to put tape on it or anything. It's going to be perfectly fine. And they're probably about the same in terms of stickiness, actually, now that I'm feeling them again. But yeah, this one just has this lip because the bubbles go right up here, which can sometimes be an issue in the slot. So I always had to put a piece of tape over it so it kind of pushes it down. It's kind of annoying. So I'm glad that I don't have to do that anymore. I'm happy with these, I think. And if I could get paper ones in red, that would be the ideal situation. But for now, I'm really happy to be using these. And I think I'm going to pass on these for a little while and try out these because I'm really liking them. So I just finished packing up all those orders, guys. And it's at about this time of the video where I'm supposed to tell you that if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to do that and to drop a like on this video right now. Now, I want to go ahead and start testing some of those video game consoles. And by testing, apparently, I mean photographing, because I now have one of the NES consoles here, and we're going to be doing all 3 of them right now and getting them drafted up on eBay. We tested them last time. I forgot to go ahead and list them. They were just sitting on the side of this table here, and I just found them, so we're going to go ahead and list them. I've labeled them all. They're number 2, 1, and 3. And or 1, 2, 3 would be an easier way to say that. This one works but doesn't have the screws in it. Now I could take the screws from the other unit. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, but because one of them doesn't work, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and probably just draft them up as they are, and we'll go ahead and do that. So just like that, guys, I went ahead and finished up drafting all of the NES consoles here. That only took a few minutes. I'm sure that Airval will go ahead and get those listed pretty soon here. So those guys should be up and done and dealt with, which now just brings me over to this big mess. I was thinking about doing the Super Nintendo. That could be kind of fun, or this Halo Xbox here. This special one would also be kind of a cool one. Maybe the box PS2 first. Ultimately, we're going to do them all. So I guess it's just a matter of whichever order I want to go in. But yeah, actually, why don't we start off with the Super Nintendo, because it's kind of neat. We can do a couple lots there, and that will be kind of fun. So I'm just taking a look at what we got got in this lot here. First of all, there's a pile of Famicom games, one with a $70 price tag on it, and I'm not familiar with any of these titles, so I'm going to have to give these guys a look up, but likely I'm going to list them all together unless they are really valuable, then I'll do them individually. The problem with them is that they're just a little bit too big to go letter mail, so listing them individually, if they're cheaper, means I'll have to charge like regular price shipping, which is like $12, $15, which means that most people wouldn't buy a $5 game with $12 shipping, so I'd likely just lot them up. But we'll see and take a quick look. Also, I've got some pamphlets here. I'm trying to figure out what's for what. That might be for one of the games in there. Same with this. I'm guessing this is some Mario game. Yeah, that's got the manual there. This is probably for one of these guys, so I'll take a look at that. This is Jurassic Park. I think this is sealed and complete in box. Not sealed, obviously, but I think it's complete in box. I'll have to take a look there. Yeah, it looks like it is. So there's the manual. There's the game there. It actually looks like it's in really nice shape, too. So we'll see how much this one's worth. If it's not worth a whole lot, I'm going to bundle it with the Super Nintendo. Now, you guys might be seeing here, like, I'm not familiar with a lot of these prices. That's because we don't deal with as much of the retro stuff, especially not as much as I used to when I started. So I'm not that up to date with the prices of all this stuff. I think I may have even sold this exact game before, though. Not sure why it's not going back in. There we go. But yeah, I just don't follow them very closely now, so I never quite know what things are going for. I know what the consoles go for. That's usually what we deal with the most, and we have the occasional game come in, of course. There's usually one or two in most lots, but nothing in volume, so that's why I'm going to go ahead here and look up the price on this guy. So I did look this one up. Price chart saying that loose is $9, but complete we can get almost $50 for it. So I'm assuming that since we have the box, it's not in great shape here, but maybe we get $30-40 for it. So I think I will go ahead and sell this one individually. Okay, now for the rest of this stuff, I did just go ahead. This isn't from this lot. This is just stuff that I had kicking around, a couple SNES games here, but I do want to look up the value of them, and anything over 20, I'm going to hold to the side. For example, Mario All-Stars, I'm not sure what it goes for on the SNES. Not sure what Test Drive goes for. I think we have a couple shovelware games here too. Yeah, a couple sports games. So yeah, there's not going to be a whole lot of value in these, I don't think. We're going to look those guys up and see if they're worth anything. Anything that's over 20, I'll list individually with this guy. Anything, and not with this guy, but I'll do them all individual as listings. And then anything that's not over 20 can be listed with the SNES. And there's also a few games in here that I'm going to go ahead and look up. I don't think there's anything of any value in there. I'm going to sell it with all, I guess, does it even take 3 controllers? No, it's just the 2, right? It actually says works on it, so that's good. But yeah, it's just the 2 slots. So I might hold this one back because it's a no name, and I don't think that really helps add any value here. As far as I see it, it's just something else to break. So we'll hold that guy back. But yeah, so I'll go through the rest of these games here, and I'll let you guys know which piles we're going to put with the SNES and which ones we're going to sell individually. Okay, so I think I have everything out and organized now. This first stack here is all games that are literally worth nothing. So in case you guys are wondering which ones ended up in that pile, they were all of those ones there. So we're not going to be selling those guys individually. These ones I'm kind of on the fence about, or they were just over the ones that were worth nothing by a little bit. This was like a $15 game. That one's $15. That one's 11, I think. And then this guy is 20. But I'm kind of tempted just to sell them all together. So I'm not sure. And not together in a lot, but together with this lot, just to make it like a really cool lot. But then at the same time, the Super Nintendo is in such bad shape that I just don't think it's going to be worth putting that many good games to it. I really don't know what to do here. So I might list these guys individually or put these 4 in a lot together. I don't know. There's a lot of options here, so we'll have to see what we want to do. Also, technically speaking, this Super Soccer, I think that's this manual here. Yeah, Super Soccer. So I guess we'll go ahead and probably put those together. Still not sure. I think that's for one of the PAL games again. So yeah, we do have the manual for the console though. I don't know. I really don't know what to do here, but I'm thinking that I might just hold these ones off. Okay guys, so even though the console said that it works, I don't usually like to take people's word for it, especially on Marketplace and stuff. I just like to double check. Our business reputation at the end of the day relies on it. So I went ahead here and I plugged this guy in. I put one of the games in it, and sure enough, it's working, which is fantastic. I'll try out the controllers here in a second. But that is a really good sign. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to test these 4 games right now. Then we can go ahead and list them individually. And then what I'll do is I'll test all the games that came with it, make sure that they're working. Some of them might need some compressed air. You know, you have to blow on them sometimes to get them working. You know if you were playing these back in the day. So anyway, yeah, it's going to be just a few more minutes here of doing some little testing and whatnot, and then we'll be able to draft this guy up. Okay, so I just wrapped up testing everything here, and luckily all of the games worked. I actually couldn't test the Famicom games, of course, because I don't actually have a Famicom, but we're going to list them anyway here because I think the seller told me that they did work, so I'm going to take their word for that, and we don't really sell these for a lot of money anyway, I don't think. So whatever the case, we still have a couple Super Nintendo games here that we're going to sell separately, but they do work. I did look at the price comps on eBay, and it's going to be worth it to sell them individually, so that's the plan there. And then, yeah, I'm just going to bundle up these cables, get the manual with it, get a nice couple pictures. And I think I'm going to try to list everything here right now. I'll just draft it all up on my phone and then I'll go to the computer and finish up the games a little bit after. So I've decided on the picture. I'm going to lay it out like this. It gives me kind of the best setup. And a lot of you guys have asked about this in the past, especially on TikTok when I'm showing off quick listing stuff, is how do you sort of lay things out, especially when doing bundles in picture form. And this is sort of what I like to do. I try to display it to make it look like as much as possible. This is going to grab somebody's attention from the eBay feed. If I had these all stacked up in the corner back there and I had the manual, like, I don't know, under the console and the controllers are sort of stacked on the thing, you can't see anything. You don't know what it is. You're not going to click on it. So like this, you can see everything very nicely. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead up top here, probably take some pictures of like the top of them, maybe get all these in by taking a picture like that so you can see all of the cart bottoms or the breeders, whatever they're called. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of all the backs so people can see stickers like that on them. And I'll do that all in one picture. So I'll flip them all over at once. Same with that one. I'll probably take it down for those pictures because as you guys know, you only have 12 pictures that you can use. So I got to make sure that I'm getting as much in each picture as I can. Front and backs of each of the controllers. Somehow I'll figure that one out. Cable is probably just one shot. Then a picture of the console with the manual. And then each side of the console is kind of what I'm thinking, especially since this one does have some cosmetic damage. So that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead now and try to get this guy listed. Okay, guys, so I just finished up. And just to recap, the Super Nintendo has been done, drafted, and put away with all the games that I said I was going to put with it. All the cables, controllers, and everything that I showed you in that picture. And now we have all these games that I just went ahead and finished drafting. So this guy drafted in the box. These four I drafted individually. And I started drafting these individually. And then I kind of got frustrated because I can never read any of these things. And they weren't really worth a whole lot, I don't think, at least from the ones I could read. So I just decided maybe there is something worth it, maybe there's not. I'm going to put them all in one bundle though and sell them all together. If I find that there's something that's really valuable in my research later, then I might take them out of the bundle or I might just leave it. I have no idea, but I got a little bit lazy here. So that's going to be one lot. I'll do a buy now price though on it once I figure out kind of what it's worth, and I'll give a little discount because I'm selling them all together. Also, I did realize before anybody comments that this Super Soccer manual was not the same as the Super Soccer Champ game over here, so I didn't end up putting that with it. I'll put that in my manual drawer for the rare chance in my life that I'll ever see this game, which I might actually. It's a common game, who knows? But anyway, that's what's all going in the manual thing. These are all done. I'm going to move on to the next thing now. So guys, next item here that we're going to get listed is this PS4 Pro. AirVal actually has dropped a whole bunch of stuff off, and this was one of the things they dropped off. And we might do a couple of the other things they dropped off today. I'm not sure. However, we do have this PlayStation 4 Pro that is used in box, and that's about it. I mean, it's got the controller, it's got everything there, so it's in really nice shape. Basically brand new. I think it was only used a little bit by an adult collector, so it's going to be a quick, easy flip here. I'm not sure exactly what we have in it because we got in a lot with a whole bunch of stuff, but nevertheless, it's going to be a really good flip. Okay, so I just finished taking pictures of everything on the inside here, guys, and I figured I'd make this point because I know it looks like it might be easy to list things that are in box like this, but when they're used in box and you had to take everything out, it can be quite a pain. You got to unwrap everything, you got to get all the controllers out, take pictures of them because it's been used before. And it's just quite annoying to figure out how it all fits back together so you can actually get it back into the box. And of course, PlayStation, you get like 8 different boxes that things go in and slide into. So I got to try to put this thing all back together now. Luckily, I've got everything wrapped back up. So next up here, guys, we got some shoes. And this was another thing that AirVal just dropped off. I figured I'd take a little break from the consoles here and try to get these guys listed. Now, what you'll notice is that these are by no means in the nicest conditions. In fact, we picked up some older, kind of grosser shoes just to try it out because we've been selling some nice shoes. And we get, top dollar for them. Let's say, we get a pair of whatever, Air Force Ones, and we get 80 to 100 maybe used if they're in really nice shape. Now, in this case, these ones were not in nice shape. However, Value Village was charging down on them. They were charging us $13, which is not the typical like 20, 22 that they're charging for really nice shoes. These ones actually aren't terrible, but they're not great. So, we got a good deal on these, and AirVal picked them up, and the idea is to start maybe doing a couple lower end shoe flips. So if we're buying them for $13, maybe selling them for $30 to $40 and seeing if we can sell them. So this is sort of our first little test of that. We're going to try to price them really competitively and low and see if we move any of them. And we're really just willing to take any offers on these, so we'll see if some buyers come through or not. But this is a little bit of a test. We've got $30 here, and we'll see if we can turn it into 100. All right, guys, so I just went ahead and drafted each pair of these shoes, and I just realized that I made a big mistake. I accidentally drafted them onto the video game store page instead of on to the actual shoe page or the actual other random stuff eBay page that we have, the eBay store, I should say, where we would normally sell this kind of thing. I'm gonna check with AirVal. I think I should probably move them over to the other store. But if not, I don't know, I might just leave them. But that was kind of annoying. I'll just have to copy all the listing descriptions and details over and get all the pictures and redo the drafts. But I'm gonna go ahead and double check with him, and perhaps we'll move with these guys over. So next up here, guys, and the last thing that I'm probably gonna do today, because I am kind of running out of time here, is going to be this Halo 4 Xbox 360, which I think is just one of the coolest Xbox 360s I've ever seen. And it's got these two matching controllers as well. So I went ahead, I pulled a copy of Halo 4 that I've already tested and cleaned off of our shelf, because I feel like we just can't sell this without that. And Airval actually had suggested that, so I gotta give him credit for that idea. But I think obviously, yeah, it's a must. So we've got a Halo 4 bundle here with the two controllers. We've got the power supply, no AV, which is fine because it's an HDMI system. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead now. I just cleaned it out with some compressed air, and that's why there's stuff everywhere and it's a little bit dusty. That thing was going crazy dusty. Like, let me see here. Okay, you can't really see it now because I guess I've blown it all out, but it was really dusty. So anyway, it's looking good now, and I might just give it a nice wipe. But I don't know, it's such a cool like reflective console. It doesn't even need it, because it's just like the pictures I think will turn out well no matter what. But I will still give it a wipe down. I'll test out the controllers, test out the game. Actually, I don't have to test the game. I already tested the game, but do the, we'll plug it in and test it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll go ahead and get this guy drafted. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I had to show you guys this. I just started this thing up for the first time, and then I heard an amazing noise. I'm not like a Halo like fan or anything. I didn't really play it much, so I don't know much about it, but this sounds really cool when you boot it up. You guys need to hear this. See? Pretty cool. And then it goes blue. I mean, this is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. I really still haven't looked it up to see if it's worth anything at all. It might totally just be the price of a normal Xbox, but it's really cool. It also is the same sound when you turn it off. Okay, this is just crazy, guys. This thing just keeps getting cooler. First of all, the controller lights are blue. How cool is that? And there we go here. I'm not sure if it's flashing because my batteries are dead. I'm pretty sure my batteries are almost dead. But anyway, and then check out this sound. I mean, like, how cool is that? They put custom chimes on it and everything. That is so cool. We're putting Halo in here right now to see if it works. And by that, I'm just meaning that I want to see if the disc reader on the unit works, and I hopefully think it will. Okay, so I just wrapped up testing and reformatting the console. It all worked great, which was fantastic. The controllers worked, everything worked, which is just great. So I'm very excited now to go ahead and get this guy drafted up. And again, I think this will definitely be the last one for today, but what a killer one to end off with. Okay, so I just wrapped up taking some pictures of this and getting this guy all drafted up. Now, I did do a little bit of research just to figure out, because I had to know, and it looks like on the low end, we should be surpassing $200 easily on this console. There was a couple solds for like $240, $250 with the controllers in the game. Somebody smart had sold one for like $350 with all of the Halo games, which definitely is a good thing to do, although we're not going to do it here. We're just going to do the Halo 4 bundle because I don't think we have them all right now. We've been selling through them like crazy. Halo sells very well for us. So anyway, I think we're going to cross 200. My guess is going to be around 240 is going to be what we get, but we're not going to put it on an auction. We're going to put it on a buy it now. So I'll let Airval determine the list price here, but I'm sure whatever it is, we will get some good money for it. And by the way, for anybody wondering, when we bought this, we thought it was a normal Xbox 360. That's what it said in the description of what we were picking up. So we just thought, okay, Xbox 360, whatever. It could have been a white one, could have been an S. We didn't really know. And sure enough, we landed with this, which is fantastic because this will cover well over the price that we paid for the entire lot, which is great. Anyway, guys, with that said, I am actually going to wrap up today's video here. We got quite a bit done, got a lot of those drafts up. We got quite a few things tested and then drafted, which is great. And then Airval is going to go ahead and finish up all of those drafts, turn them into listings, which will eventually turn into sales and turn into profit, which is going to be great. So I'm really looking forward to all that stuff. If you guys like this video, be sure to go on below and leave a like on it. And yeah, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know down below. I'll try to get back to you guys as quickly as I can. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.